everyone. Welcome back to the Count to 10 podcast. My name is Simon Sanborn. I'm a behavior specialist that works for a school district, and I focus on helping students with behaviors. I work on coaching people to understand behaviors and, most of all, understand communication. It's one of those tools that we all kind of forget about, but is essential for us to get along as a society, is really finding ways to communicate. So we're heading back to school soon. This is going to be, we're about 3 weeks away, I believe. And the pressure is kind of starting. We're trying to figure out, students coming in, who's going to be in which classrooms, and all that kind of organizational stuff that is put on by administrators, which is a tremendous amount of work to do to get schools prepared. And there's, thousands of schools all over the country that are doing the exact same thing. So I'm very excited to be going back to school. I'm very proud of the school district and the school that I work for, and the teachers that I work with. They're a wonderful group of people that I'm excited to team up with again and see how we can help each other to benefit the success of students. It's the only reason why we have jobs. So I thought I would just touch on a few things today. I'm going to kind of break it up into teachers and parents and students. So I'll speak to the teachers first, and I kind of put some things down, so excuse my pausing here and there. But what I kind of thought of is that we're going to have all the curriculum things down. We're going to have all the things in place that we need to do the best job of instructing these students in how to learning math, learning language, learning writing, social studies, science, all those things. We have those tools that are beck and call, right? Curriculums and things like that. And I've been reading the Leader in Me book this summer and kind of studying it and taking down notes and kind of putting together an idea, because we're going to be a Leader in Me school where I'm going to be at later on this fall. So, I'm sorry, not later on this fall, but pretty soon here. So the Leader in Me program is a Stephen Covey kind of branch off of organizing schools and helping with managing schools, is how you can kind of put it. So it's not necessarily a behavior program, but it's more of an overall understanding about how human beings function, especially kids, and seeing how we as teachers can really help facilitate some of the things that we want them to be as human beings when they grow up and they go out into the world. So, this is not going to be one of those things, oh, now I have something else to do, one more thing on my plate, that kind of frustration, which we're all familiar with. It seems like every year teachers are asked to do more and more and more administrative things, keeping track of things. It's a lot of pressure on top of the normal everyday things, but we take them on, we do them, because we know, again, at the end, it's for the benefit of students that it matters. So this Leader in Me book, what I really liked about this was it focuses on lots of tools that we can use, but the best part about it is it's working it into your day-to-day curriculum. So they said the main thing that we need to have students is have a peace of mind. Can students come to school and know that they have the supports they need? Do they come to school and know they have the tools that they need? Do they come into school and know that there are adults there that love them and care about them and are looking for them to be successful and wanting them to be successful and working hard to make sure they're successful? So can we have that peace of mind for students? And so they said the main thing is physical needs for kids, social emotional need for kids. Third is mental needs, right? That could be intellectual growth, that could be creativity or stimulating, challenges. And the third thing is spiritual. And the word they use, the spiritual word, is kind of wrapped around the idea of collaborating with other people, finding meaning in the work that you do, finding meaning in the relationships you connect with when you work in a group, and finding your own uniqueness, right? I come to this project and I'm a really good drawer. So somebody else is really good with handwriting and somebody else is really good with knowledge and background. So the three of us together utilize all of our strengths and make something wonderful happen. It's a unique connecting experience for ourselves. So those are the four things, physical, social, emotional, mental, and spiritual. I didn't really talk about physical. So safety, just knowing that they're in a safe spot, being healthy, having exercise, good food, shelter, cleanliness, all those things, right? Those are things that we all need to have. And then the social emotional is acceptance, right? Am I accepted here? Are people kind to me, right? Kindness is a big one. Friendship, right? Respect. And I think that's something that's kind of shifting in schools now, is we're starting to understand that this development of respect between a teacher and their students has to do with our interactions. So the main thing that kind of this focuses on in parts of these books is about relationships. These relationships really matter. And you can put in the effort and the time within your instruction or in moments throughout your day to develop those relationships, and it saves you a tremendous amount of work on the backside of trying to manage behaviors or trying to manage classrooms or shifting desks all the time and things like that. So it kind of helps you get a head start on, I've built this relationship with this student. I know I can speak to them about this. They know I love them and I care about them, that I'm only looking out for their best interest, and I can find a way to get that across the right way so that they know that they're accepted, and do it in an understanding kind of capacity. So that's mainly for teachers. I know the pressure's building, like I said, and we take our jobs pretty seriously. I don't know too many teachers who don't take their jobs seriously. So I know we're all feeling the pressure because we have a whole new group of kids coming in, a whole new group of kids to educate, we're taking people's children and we're teaching them some basic life skills that they need to have in their life. And parents are willing to do that, which is great. So this next part for parents is kind of prepping your kids a little bit. My kids have probably been on electronics a little bit more than they normally would be, but we're prepping now for our kids to get back to school. So they have limited time on electronics. We're limited watching TV, we're limited watching video games, and we're absolutely limited on the phone. So phones are a big one for schools and for families. It's a big one in my house that we, unfortunately, is kind of a constant battle. But we're trying to put some things in place so we don't have to have those battles. We have expectations. They know what those expectations are. If they don't follow through, there are consequences. But there are consequences that they agreed to, right? If you have your phone in your room and you shouldn't, you don't have your phone tomorrow. It's just that simple. If you're playing your video game longer than you should have or playing it when you shouldn't be playing it, you don't get to play your video game tomorrow. So it's just very cut and dry, and they know the expectations. So it's not me berating them. We'll be like, okay, you had your phone in your room, so plug it in on the counter in the kitchen, and don't worry about it tomorrow. So we try to keep it simple that way. But parents can really prep their kids for this now. And also, I thought I would just bring this up is that TikTok is becoming such a huge thing right now, or has been a huge thing. I don't make myself available to a lot of social media, but TikTok is becoming a national security issue. It's the #1 app worldwide for data collecting. It's the #1 app in the world that is distracting kids. And we also know that some of the issues we've had with them, these challenges of, eating Tide Pods or something like that. So it can be kind of an issue. So with it being kind of an issue, I would just preface for parents to know that, our federal government is looking into this to see if there's something that we need to be concerned about. And we also know that China doesn't allow their kids on TikTok. They feed TikTok with specific subjects like science and math, so kids can only see things that are good for them, and it also shuts off at 10 o'clock at night and you can't use it anymore. So it's a Chinese government app, but the Chinese government even doesn't let their kids use it more than it should, and they fill the content a lot with what they think kids need. As you know, ours in America and being free and being open, which I think is awesome and we celebrate, allows us to get in these pickles where we're, letting our kids do these things because everybody's kind of doing it, but knowing on the back end that it's pretty nefarious, it sounds like. So just one more thing to kind of keep yourself aware of. And then, make sure you talk to your kids about what's going to be happening in school. Ask them questions about how their day was. Ask them questions specifically about science and math and, the friends they're making or the interactions of the teachers that are meeting and the teachers that they're liking. What's the library like? Do they have cool books? That kind of thing. Get them thinking and knowing that you're interested in what they're learning, right? School just isn't a thing that they go off to and get taken care of and they're delivered back to you. Well, it's partially that, but it's also part of we are educating your kids. And the more you get involved with asking them what's going on, the deeper their knowledge is gained. So it's a big deal to know that you're interested in it too, right? If school is boring, but you are like, hey, there's some fun stuff going on. What are you guys doing for this? What are you doing for that? Or you can even email your teachers and ask them, hey, what are some things I can talk to my student about or my kid about what they're doing in your classroom as a student? And so that can be a parent involvement is a big deal. And I know that there's a lot of wonderful parents out there, but there are definitely people that we can really have step up, right? Really step up and start asking questions about your son or your daughter and figuring out what it is they're really interested in, what they like. And then you can help guide them. You can help guide them down the road and say, hey, I remember you talking about this when you were in 5th grade. That's pretty cool that now that you're a freshman or you're a sophomore, you're still thinking this is pretty cool because you had that awesome science experiment with that one teacher when you were in school, when you were younger. So those things have an effect, and it can have long-lasting effects. So the more involvement you are just in talking to your kid and reaching out to your teachers, the better off they're going to be too. And lastly, for students, so this is a teacher talking to students. Now is the time to start thinking about getting yourself ready to be back in school, right? Start prepping now. Maybe you start reading a little bit more. Maybe you start meditating some and checking on your anxiety and how you feel inside before you walk in the doors of that building, knowing there's going to be anxiety and there's going to be stress. So taking some time to kind of prep yourself, right? Know that you're going to have those things happen. I'm already nervous for school. Okay, it's just part of the game. I'm nervous, and so being aware of that nervousness and finding a way to move past it. Deep breathing, thinking about 5 things around me that I can see. I can see cars and trees and birds. It gets my thinking brain going, and it gets me out of that lower brain kind of like anxiety, fight or flight kind of mode. So things that you can do to kind of help yourself stay focused on the anxiety that comes up with going back to school. And prepare to have fun. This stuff is fun. Find things that are interesting to you, right? Math isn't interesting to everybody, right? Myself included. But as I've taught math and as I've co-taught with teachers math, I've learned these new tools and I've learned these new things that I didn't know when I went to school, and they make me excited even though I don't use this math anymore. It makes me go like, oh wow, this is an amazing tool. I can't wait to share this with somebody else, or I can't wait to share this with my students that I work with one-on-one. So find those things that you can be like happy about. Yes, it's math and it's not great all the time, but wow, I just learned how to do lattice and I didn't know how to do that. That helped me solve all kinds of problems. So as students, you can really do some things for yourself, because now is the time as you're entering into, whether it's elementary school or you're heading into middle school or intermediate school and middle school, you're growing up and we're adding more to your plate and we're hoping you understand more and more. But that does not mean that the teachers in that building or the administrators in that building are incredible custodians in those buildings, our support staff that are the only reason why schools function like they do. Those people are there for one sole purpose, and that is for you. And that is to make sure you're successful, that you feel safe, that you're cared for, that you have the things you need, so that as you grow and become this person you're becoming, right, you're doing it the best way possible, with the less amount of stress possible, with the most amount of joy as possible, and so that you can see that compassion and that love from the teachers that are around you, and know that even though this subject is really difficult or this problem that you're working on is really hard, I have a ton of people around me that are here for me to be successful at this. So always remember that in the back of your mind. That's what we're here for. It's the only reason why I have a job. I say it to my students all the time, especially when we're having issues with behaviors, right? Do you know why I'm here? To teach me. Absolutely. I'm here to teach you, but your success is the reason why I'm here. You being able to get through these tough moments or learn how to get through these tough moments, me helping you learn how to understand how the U.S. government works for social studies, that's my job. So I'm here for you. So utilize me. Anything I can do to help you, I will do that. Okay. Well, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate you, and I have a lot of gratitude towards you if you've taken some time to listen to this. So thanks for your efforts out there. Teachers, get ready to go. It's going to be a good year. Students, same exact thing. Here we go. Parents, we got you. We got your kid. We're going to make things happen that are positive and have some growth, right? We want these young people to be turning into young adults and adults that have a place in society because they feel confident about themselves, sure about themselves, and know how to solve problems and take care of business. So have a great rest of your day, and I guess we'll see some teachers in about 3 weeks and some students in about 3.5, and we'll get this thing rock and rolling. Thanks so much for your time. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.